What's going on, everybody? It's Famine from Famine Studios. You want to learn how I made this wall panel? Well, stick around and we'll go through it. From last night's live stream, we started working on this panel. I got everything in place and I have Mod Podged it with a simple coat of Mod Podge, and now I am going over it with Apple Barrel black paint as a primer, and then we're going to start dry brushing it. I'm doing this, you know, in between other stuff, my day job. The next step for this is going to be a dry brush, a big, gentle, light passive dry brush with this makeup brush, and I'm going to be using gunmetal to give everything like a metallic, worn sheen, and then I'll build up my colors, as you guys are familiar with my paint methods, and I have decided that's going to be the top, this is going to be the bottom, and you'll also see I did add a couple more things on here in between. I'm satisfied with how full and busy this looks. Time for some crappy voiceover work. I am using my Army Painters paints. They are all metallics, and essentially what I'm using is a dollar store makeup brush of $1.25, and I am just, you know, putting silver paint onto a paper towel and then leaving most of it on the paper towel. It's a great way to waste expensive hobby paints, but this is my hobby, so here you can see I'm just mixing in other colors. I'm using the same spot, and I am just dry brushing it. I'm taking my time, I'm sneaking up on it because I don't want it to look like it's been painted a solid color. I want the dry brush to give layers, allow some of that darkness to show through, and make it seem like it's real metal. And I keep tilting it in the light to see where I'm catching and checking, and also to show you on camera, because things, that's a trick you can do, is take a photograph of what you're working on with your camera to see how it appears. You get a better idea because your eye and the camera lens see two different things. So it's just layer after layer of this metal paint, and then we get this. I think I'm much happier with this look, so we'll start with the washes. I'm gonna get something set up underneath because this could get messy. Potentially could get messy. It's gonna get messy. Yeah. So I'm gonna be using some golden acrylic. They're technically high flow acrylics and acrylic inks. I'm going to be using those as a bit of a wash on some of the areas here. And we're just going to work with these for now and see where they take us. So I'll start with I guess we'll go with the darker one first, the Liquitex ink. And I'm just going to put that down there on the plate that I'm utilizing as my catch-all here, using a makeup brush, and I'm just going to show you how this appears on here. And just it's transparent enough that it just lets that metal dry brushing appearance sit through. And we'll use this on the pipe, this pipe here. You'll notice I'm not like bathing it in the color. I just want the pipe to pick up that rusty bit as an appearance. All right, so there's that. We can put this color on here. I'm just giving it a little bit of coverage, and that's, you know, just weird rusting. We'll do this pipe, hold it in place here, but we can come back and hit the high points of the collars and the joinery and the brackets for the pipes later. So we'll do that piece. We'll go here just a little bit. Not everything has to be complete coverage, but I wanted to add a little character there because this darker color is going to stand out underneath the lighter color, the lighter wash that we're going to do. So now there's barely any on there on that brush. You can see here, I'm just taking it off. I say there's barely any on there. It's pretty loaded. I was incorrect in that, but just get rid of that on there. And then we've got this raw sienna. Just give it a little shake. And I'm putting some down here on the plate. Get a good flow. Close that up, set that aside again. It's golden. I think I got that at Michael's. I've loaded up my brush. And now I'm just going to go underneath here. Just really get in there. We'll mop it on here, and then we're kind of treating this like a wash almost. But now I'm going to take this paper towel and just knock that display over that I was showing. But we'll take this paper towel, like I said, and just kind of push some of it into the grooves, get all the high points cleared off, because again, we're just adding some rust effect, adding some staining, making it look gross and world worn. Could do a little in there. We'll load up those there, and then we'll just take this and go over it a couple of times. Get that cat hair out of there. If you got cats like me or dogs like me, you gotta watch for those. And again, just take it. I'll put some in here. Why not, right? Let's make this thing nice and grimy. Tap that off on there. Like I said, doing this where I take a lot of it off, it still lets that pattern that we've achieved with the dry brushing show through. And you can just go back through, take a little bit off. So I'm just going to keep doing that in different areas until this has got a kind of a mottled appearance. Mottled, not mottled. Although I guess you could say it's a model. Some of the areas I want it to be a little heavier than others. Like we'll do lighter here. And then we'll just go back in. So it's almost staining it. Get in some of the darker spots. Just pick up a little bit of light. Hit some high points here. There we go. And so you'll see I'm avoiding that because I want that to maybe be a little bit of newer add-on, or like maybe something that gets replaced on occasion. But yeah, so now it's got that metally. Let's take some more of that off of there. Spread that around. Wet those high points. We'll go back over that and dry brush it a little later. But we've kind of given this, let's go in here. We'll just blend this up. That's my dog sliding around because he moved his bed. Because Stark's a silly boy. So that's what we're working with. I think that'll do. I think that presents enough of visual interest to the background that changed it there. And now we'll go with some oranges for some more new rust, I guess you would say, like more current rust. Rust that's happening right now. So we've got lava orange. Just put a little of that there. Lava orange from War Paints. A sponge. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. And we'll just pick some stuff and we'll, maybe we'll do the collars on this piece of pipe. Be a little rusty. We'll tie it off down here. That one will be a little more rusty. Put some rust on here. That'll be good. This plate just looks like it could use a little bit of rust. And we'll do a really cool patch of rust right here. Like, who knows, maybe some alien goo got on there that makes that more susceptible to rust. Right up in here, where we made that area look kind of goofy. Or not we. You guys didn't do anything. You did nothing wrong. You're wonderful and you're perfect. I apologize for even insinuating you did something wrong. You did nothing wrong. You're wonderful. Your father and I are so proud of you. You make this family. You just keep this family together. You're the glue that holds the family together, I swear. And I just put down a little bit of yellow. I'm probably going to use less yellow, but I have really no control over squeezing out these Vallejo model colors just because I have gorilla hands and I don't know how to control them. So we left the orange that's on there. It'll help this blend a little bit as we stipple up the layers, but just do some yellow on there. And now that's starting to catch, starting to become interesting visually. Again here, get some more yellow on there. So now we've got that. Where else can we put a little rust? We'll put a little rust happening there. Jam some in the corner. Yeah, that's starting to look good, and we'll do a little bit here. I'm just going to come back with this, like this is more yellow now. Get a couple of spots. We're going to put a little rust on this computer type thing. I don't know why suddenly I'm Bob Ross. So we've got this on there. Cool. So next, now rust usually has a little bit of brown, so we'll do a saddle brown, which is one of my lighter browns that I have in these model paints. Again, Vallejo, Valleja. Everybody always makes fun of me how I say it, so you know what? Tell me how to say it in the comments in the comments section if you know how to say it. You do it. You tell me how to say it. And I've just dabbed it a couple of times on the yellow, so again, it blends, it builds up. So we'll just a little bit of brown in there, almost like autumn, right? Some autumn color. Brown. And next step is we're going to do black, which is a common color on rust. If you know where to look, and also it's outer space, and I'll put whatever goddamn colors on my rust I want, and not a single soul will stop me. And if you were me, then I'd be you, and I'd use your body to do it, so you can't stop me no matter who you are. Chronicling famine's descent into madness. Okay. Hey, dog that's being scratchy over there. Now we've got kind of a model, you know, panel going here. We'll get a little yellow and a little black together. That'll be an ugly color. We'll hit the brown again. There we go. And who knows, that could be dirt, that could be grime, that could be whatever. So I think that that's just looking... It's catching the light good. It's disgusting. I'm digging it. And now let's start working on some color here. And we're going to take this piece of sponge, and just because we can, we're going to flip it inside out, because I don't like to waste, even though sponges are wasteful in their nature. Let's start working with a white, because we have the white walls in the other area, right? In the area, I'll put it on the screen, that we're going to be tying this into the corner for. So let's do a little bit of white. We'll do a couple of panels, these panels here, with this white stippling, gross, worn out paint. Kind of take the cleanliness out of it. So we've got it on there. I'm just tapping away here, and we'll just start building up some remnants of what would have been white on there. See how that kind of catches the light. We'll go a little heavier here. I feel like I kind of undersold myself, but you can always sneak up on it. You can always add paint. It's easier to add it than it is to take it away. And then when we do a final wash or two, we'll tie this all together, and it'll really make that grime stand out. So we've got like that panel there. And then we'll do this panel. And why not? Why not snuff it up a little bit, dragging the brush, or dragging the sponge in this case. And just continue to add that to that. It's starting to look good. So I'm going to continue adding some colors to this. We'll check back in a bit. That's a little too bright. but we'll check back on this in a minute. Yeah. Alright, so as I said, off screen I did a little bit more color dry brushing and touching up the brackets that hold the pipes on. Yeah, and I subdued all the colors. I actually just discovered this, and I'm sure it's an old trick and everybody knows, but instead of using pigment powders like I would before, pastels, I actually used a dry brushing of this pewter gray matte. And I mean, I used a little and just subdued all the colors, and I think it really pulled everything together. So now I'm gonna seal this thing and maybe call it good. So we'll wrap up when we do that. Also as a quick bonus, I just put a drop of UV curing resin on that little green square that you saw in the previous scene to make it into a screen. So once that cures with the UV on it, it'll look like a little piece of glass. Might put some glossy Mod Podge on it and then kind of dust over it, or I'll just let natural dust accrue on there, because anybody who's a toy collector knows that our shit gets dusty even as much as we vacuum and have air filters. So yeah, bonus. Using some Eileen's tacky glue, I've coated the back, and now I'm just placing this panel in. I did add a row of faux bricks. I've got other videos of me making faux bricks I can link here, but we're just making sure it makes contact all the way through. Big shout out to my patrons. I'm going to have those guys up on the screen here. They really helped with this build. I reached out to quite a few people individually. They all tuned into the live chat where we first started this out. Always appreciate the support, and I appreciate the support of everybody watching. Like, I realize this is a long video, and if you stuck around this far, you know, drop an emoji down there of you know, I don't know, just like drop 3 emojis, like eggplants. I don't care, make it fun. But here it is. It's all set up. I am over the world with how that turned out. Hell yeah. There we have it, everybody. This is another wall panel done and dusted for our sci-fi starport of Gimmick Starport. I like the way this thing turned out. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing to the channel, hit that like button, and consider looking us up on Patreon. It's patreon.com/famine262. There's all sorts of tiers, all sorts of information, and I get to make great videos like these. Thanks for watching. Too sweet me.